Good afternoon, everyone. So it's a good evening. Good evening, everyone. We are glad to have distinguished guests with us today evening. We have with us our President, CMA Balwinder Singh, our Vice President, CMA Biswaroop Basu sir, CMA Chitranjan Chattopadhyay, Chairman Banking Insurance Committee. We have CMA H. Padmanabhan, Chairman Regional Councils and Chapters Committee, Chairman CAT and AET Board. We have our elite people today among us. They are a learned panel with us. Our chief guest of the day, CMA Suresh Khatnar, sir, Deputy Managing Director of IDBI Bank. We have a moderator of the session, CMA Mohan V. Tangsale, sir. He is a former Chief Executive of Indian Banking Association. We have CMA M. K. Bhattacharya, Executive Director of Indian Bank, guest of honor for the day. CMA is Sekat Roy, guest of honor, Director Ratings Limited. And we have CMA Dr. P. Sivaram Prasad, former AGM of SBI, who has designed the courses that we are going to announce today. Very warm welcome to all the viewers and all my distinguished guests. And today we are very privileged to have our very proud CMAs, those who are holding eminent positions, and they all are with us. It is a galaxy of CMA experts with us. So we are very much happy today. We are delighted to have all of them together. It gives me immense pleasure to present the today's WEBINT, which is hosted by Banking and Insurance Committee, capacity building of the lending institutions post COVID-19. Though we know the lending institutions plays a vital role in providing credit to the industry and trade, and with the crisis of liquidity, which obviously impacts businesses and its strategies. To this current COVID scenario, there is a transformation in lending, and each lending institution has to embrace such changes and reposition themselves. What we understand, since we have very learned experts among us, they are the domain experts who shall be elaborating all these issues during the webinar. And I'm very much sure that you would be benefited with the deliberations during this. Before we move on further, I would like to introduce our speakers today. I would like to introduce our I would like to introduce CMA Suresh Khatnar, sir. He's the chief guest for the day, Deputy Managing Director of IDBI Bank. He holds Masters of Commerce, MCOM, and Certified Associate of Indian Institute of Bankers. Accountant, very senior member of our institute with a cumulative experience of 36 years. He has been with IDBI Bank for a span of 22 years, wherein portfolio is diversified into commercial banking environments such as retail banking business, priority sector lending, corporate banking, service-oriented functions such as trade, finance, risk management, audit management, compliance, credit management, and monitoring, and other facets of commercial banking. Thank you, sir. We are very privileged to have you with us today evening. Then we have very senior person, CMA Mohan V. Tangsale, sir, who is the moderator of the session. He's a strategic consultant of SWIFT India. He is the former chief executive Indian Banks Association. Sir is a very senior member of the institute and has been awarded icon of the institute in the year 2020. He is associated and consultant with various banking boards. Prior to IBI, he was CMD of Central Bank of India. He was also executive director of Punjab National Bank. So, sir, we are very much delighted to have you with us today evening. And we have our guest of honor, CMA M. K. Bhattacharya, he's executive director of the bank. Sri Bhattacharya holds a Masters of Commerce and Certified Associate of Indian Institute of Bankers and a cost accountant, very senior member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. He joined State Bank Group as probationary officer in 1985 and has been instrumental in developing new ideas, products in the areas of operations like information technology, digital banking promotion, rural banking, financial inclusion, risk management, planning and development. He has received many awards in the individual capacity for his contribution towards implementation of government's financial institutions scheme. Thank you, sir, for joining us today afternoon. We are very much privileged to have you with us. Then we have CMA Saikat Roy with us as a guest of honor for the day. Director, Care Ratings Limited. He is leading and relationships teams for emerging and large corporate and B2C clients in Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, and he is a business leader for West. Also responsible for strategic planning, sales, and marketing of various products beneficial for corporate and financial institutions. He was previously associated with Barclays Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and IndusInd Bank Limited. Thank you, sir, for joining us today evening. We have a resource person who is the key person behind the certified courses today going to be launched, CMA Dr. P. Sivaram Prasad, sir. He holds a Masters of Commerce. He is a MBA Finance, Certified Associate of Indian Institute of Bankers. He is a FCMA Cost Accountant, Senior Member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, Company Secretary, Fellow of Insurance Institute of India, and other diplomas in banking and information technology. Former Assistant General Manager, SBI of India at Hyderabad, and earlier worked in SBI General Insurance Company Limited as Vice President at Hyderabad. Sir has done his doctorate in role of automated teller machine ATM in modern banking. With this short introduction of all my speakers, we are very happy. We are delighted to have all of them with us. Before we proceed further, I would request our chairman, Banking Insurance Committee, to formally give his welcome address for the event. Over to CMA Chitranjan Chattopadhyay, sir, Chairman, Banking Insurance Committee.
Thank you, Nisha ji. Namaskar. Before I convey my welcome address, I would just like to pay my tribute to the departed soul of one of my resource persons of the Banking and Insurance Committee who has left for heavenly abode yesterday. And in fact, in this deadly COVID-19, he also had. And today, with my all heavy heart, I just dedicate this particular program towards the departed soul of CMA C.V. Raghavan. Respected President, CMA Balvinder Singh, Vice President, CMA Vishnu Basu, highly esteemed and distinguished speakers, Chairman of Regional Council and Chapter Coordination Committee, CAT, and AT Board, CMA Padmanavan, my fellow learned colleagues in the Council, the government nominees in the Council, and all the participants from the Institute and of the Institute, both from India and abroad, including students pursuing CMA courses. I, on behalf of the Banking, Financial Service and Insurance Department, I welcome you on this very significant day of our Institute when launching of 3 courses are going to be announced in august presence of versatile personalities from banks, credit rating agencies. We will also delve on a very pertinent theme, capacity building of the lending institution post COVID-19. The impact of COVID-19 on the lives and livelihood of the cross sections of the people of the country is unfathomable. Even after almost 106 days of lockdown, we are not in a position to find out when and how there will be a full respite from this vigorous pandemic. As a result of such a lockdown, stalling all sorts of economic activities appear to be more costly to human civilization than that of the pandemic. Government has started lifting lockdown by phases and given green signal to an array of economic activities to start with. When transport system has not been fully revived, supply chain still remains in disarray, labor force awfully dislocated and disorganized, all sorts of logistical support painful in abyss. Any efforts to normalize, however gradual it might be, must be fought with innumerable trials and turbulences, and the problems of problem remains with the posit of finance, the necessary variable for myriads of business. MSMEs to start with, the governments and RBI's instrumentalized intervention with host of stimulus packages are all meant for providing necessary succor to the distressed sector and meant for the revival of the economy. After Honorable Prime Minister's announcement for Atmanirbhar Bharat, during this pandemic time, banks are participating in the rejuvenation of MSMEs by providing collateral-free loan to the tune of 3 lakh crore under government guarantee, which would definitely give a comfort level to the banks and MSME borrowers. Indian banks have a long history to face and fulfill different challenges thrust upon them in different situations successfully. But unlike other times, Indian banks are presently passing through a transformative stage due to the consolidation of different banks. The newly merged banks still remain busy in synchronization of diverse systems of different banks consolidated under mega merger. The problem has been exacerbated due to many of the bank staffs remaining in furloughs due to COVID-19 and rotational duties of paltry staffs that are present. Amidst all these odds, government putting heavily on banks as a major savior of the crisis is a great challenge and also some burden for the bank. I personally feel that the banks would have been benefited a lot if they could handle some of All India Professional Institute like the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, whose esteemed members having their presence in the nooks and corners of the country would act as the credit counselor and facilitator. They can provide the bridge between giver and receiver and can make a much needed crucial connect between credit and non-credit players. Atmanirbhar Bharat package is not meant for MSMEs only at the exclusion of others. Anyone who wants assistance from the bank is very welcome to go to the banks. So intention is not only MSME-centric approach, but other needy enterprises also. In order to actualize the assertion of the Honorable Prime Minister, what is needed is that these measures should be permitted all through the country so that enterprises at the remotest corner of the country and badly in need of funds can at least know what facilities are available for them and approach to the bank with credible information. Similarly, banks should be given proper assurances that the entrepreneurs approaching the banks have the right credentials, doing lawful business, having past records, tax compliant, and seriously in crunch of funds. Having started lending from June 1, it is certainly problematic for the banks in this difficult time to spread its outreach to the remotest areas as also to meet the demands of thousands of enterprises within its reach who might crowd the banks at a time. Here, cost accountants with their MSME help desks located at various corners of the country can come to the immense help to the banks. Our members of the chapters, support centers located at various places in the country can connect to the distant entrepreneurs to educate them about the bank's requirement, can pick up the right entrepreneurs, can help in preparing business proposals, financial documents, and financial statements. This is no way to discount the due diligence process of the banks, but to supplement their efforts so that a genuine cash-strapped business enterprise having the required work, knowledge, and capacities to run the business is not rejected simply because of lack of knowledge of the nitty-gritty of lending formalities. Lending institutions also get assurances having quality proposals and can be relieved from the huge pressure in detail verification of tidbits of every proposal carefully. There are a lot of other issues. It is widely believed that the business order of the coming days after COVID-19 will undergo tremendous change. Market forces and customer behavior seem to change a lot coming out of the crisis during these days of havoc digital disruptions. This calls for the banks to rejig suitably their business continuity plans and the future strategies and procedures of lending. Against this backdrop, the Institute feels it right to organize today the WEBINT. We feel enthused and glorified with the august presence of Sri Sushan Kulesh Khatnar, Deputy Managing Director, IDBI Bank, Sri Mohan B. Tatsale, former CMD, Central Bank of India, former Chief Executive of Indian Bank Association, as a moderator for the session. We also feel elated to have amongst us Sri Vinal Kanti Bhattacharya, Executive Director of Indian Bank, Sri Shoikat Rai, Director Caretics Limited, and Dr. P. C. Varama Prasad, former AGM of SBI, and a trainer on banking as our speakers in this discussion forum, and sincerely hope to be enriched by their valued discourse. This is the sixth WEBINT at the initiative of our Banking and Insurance Committee of our Institute. The topics of other WEBINTs held were impact of COVID-19 and strategies for insurance sector, impact of COVID-19 and strategies for banking sector, impact of COVID-19 on the financial services and strategies for investors series 1 and 2, and India in the global economy 2021. All the WEBINTs drew immense applause and was resourceful in nature. Similarly, we expect that today's discussion will be tremendously beneficial for the participants and will provide new vision and vista to the participants in this trying time. We welcome you, sir, again from the core of the heart in this very significant day of the Institute. Thank you and best wishes for smooth navigation of today's discussions. Thank you. Over to Nisha Madam.
Thank you, sir. May I now request CMA H. Padmanabhan, sir, Chairman Regional Councils and Coordination Committee, AIT Board and CAT Committee, kindly address the gathering, sir. Over to CMA H. Padmanabhan, sir. Padmanabhan, sir.
Yeah. So, Namaskar, Namaste, happy evening to each and every one of you. Honorable President of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, CMA Balwinder Singh, sir. Honorable Vice President of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, CMA Visru Basudada. And our icon, and I should tell my friend also, Mohan Tankhale, sir, me being a banker, we remember him always for the wonderful services when he was in IBA also. So, Suresh sir, M.K. Bhattacharya sir, Saikat Roy sir, and our Dr. Shiv Prasad sir, Rajendra Bose sir, Dr. Nandi sir, Devendra Roy sir, and most importantly, the dynamic, I should tell, always any portfolio we give, she is there in the forefront to help doing things in a great manner. Nisha Diwan madam and Sunil Mishra sir from Mumbai. Yes, Chitoda was telling about one of the particular member. Yes, C. Veer Raghavan sir. He was part of the institute right from the beginning with his experience in CAG, and he was a part of that draft internal guidance note which was brought out by our institute. And he was affected with COVID. We told him to be careful. In between also, he was taking WEBINT program for MSME sector. And yesterday, 3:45 p.m., and his brother, who is also a CMA, like my own brother, C.T. Sridhar, called me and informed me the very sad news. And one more sad news is our Narayan Nambishan sir, former Chief General Manager of Madhrbhumi Limited. He was 84 years old. Yesterday, he also passed away. So everyone in the studio and across the globe, people who are watching us, let us pray for the departed soul and all the souls that have left us, and give strength to the bereaved family members. Also pray for each and every one of for a safe, healthy life also. Let us pray for 1 second, please. Thank you. So today's Banking and Insurance Committee, yes, when bad news is there, good news is also there. We should tell. Yesterday, I saw first time Nisha Madam and Chittoranjan Chattopadhyay sir during the demo session. When I shared this news, they were literally weeping. And for 5 minutes, we could not conduct a demo session also. We know the affection they have for such resource persons for our institute, and the affection and the way they were mingling with our leadership also. We pray for giving strength to the bereaved family members. And today the glad news which we would like to share is the council, when Balwinder Singh sir as a president himself on behalf of the chairman Chitoda brought the 3 codes and explained to the council colleagues about the importance of the codes. And when he explained that he was also, and Chitoda was telling that let the president take the lead to share with the, and I was night 12:47 a.m. Chitoda has shared me the course content. You can imagine the hard work done by Chitoda. And I had replied to him, it took nearly 1 hour for me to go through the entire content, and I replied to him after 1 p.m., 1 a.m. also. That is the hard work done by Chitoda. Definitely, I am sure the members are going to benefit. And one more thing for the benefit of Suresh sir, M.K. Bhattacharya sir, Saikat Roy sir, as well as our Mohan Tankhale sir. Already Mohan sir knows very well about this particular aspect. Shiv Prasad sir also knows. He is a person who, along with the council, was given the lead, and he took the lead to conduct a efficient survey on MSME sector. the neglected sector, according to me. And the survey which he has done has come up so nicely with the participants of many CMAs that the ministry has received it very well. And the president himself was able to present very nicely before Nitin Gadkari, sir, the honorable minister also. So the institute is going ahead in the right track. And I am very happy that today concurrent audit for banks, risk management for banks, and treasury and international banking, 3 courses are going to be introduced. So Prasad sir will be introducing all the 3 topics for the benefit of the members. And days are not very far when this council under such leadership will bring forensic audit and other important topics in days and other things which the members are really requesting again and again. Already yesterday, Nisha Diwan Madam, Rajendra Bose sir, and Chitoda has spoken to Yogesh Gupta sir, the expert in forensic audit, Enforcement Directorate head. They have spoken, and soon Banking and Insurance Committee is coming with a WEBINT program. I am very much delighted to watch that also. So today we have Mohan sir as the moderator. So I am sure that because we have seen him how nicely he was handling the earlier WEBINT also. So he will be giving equal opportunity to Suresh sir, M.K. Bhattacharya sir, and Saikat Roy. Saikat Roy is my younger brother, I should tell, because he was with me when we conducted a program in Delhi, Vigyan Bhavan. He flew all the way from Dubai for us when Kovind sir, Honorable President of India, was in Vigyan Bhavan. So today all the speakers are so eminent, and I am also delighted to listen to each and every one of you. Rest assured, Suresh sir, M.K. Bhattacharya sir, our institute is definitely in the right track. Only thing is, elders like you and icon like Mohan sir should guide us as to how we have to go further. And rest assured, we will give our all-out efforts, sir. And we have also spoken to that IRDA chairman, and he was so much delighted that he told that he will definitely take cost accountants who have flair for insurance and other things to the advisory board. Similarly, we request. And today the beauty is all the speakers, including the icon, every one of you are CMA. First time it is coming so nicely that the members also will be very happy, right from Suresh sir to M.K. Bhattacharya sir to Saikat Roy to our Shiv Prasad to Mohan Tangsale sir, whoever is here. And of course, we already are CMS. We are very much happy on that forefront also. So we will be listening to you, to your thoughts, plus whatever suggestions you would like to give to our institute, please feel free and give it to us, because we are having such a wonderful dynamic president, vice president, and chairman banking insurance committee, and we will take it forward for the benefit of nation building and also helping because today's subject is lending. That is why I'm telling you, sir, definitely. And me also being a banker, very much near to M.K. Bhattacharya sir's office only, Indian Overseas Bank. So we, the bankers, Bhattacharya sir and Suresh sir and myself, we will also definitely see that our genuine borrowers or prospective customers will be definitely helped by the bank. It is not that don't worry anyone that we are running away from NPAs. No, we are only telling that this is public money which we are lending. So public has to have the responsibility to see that they utilize that money without any diversification and without any spending on some other this thing, or finally not being able to and get it categorized under NPA. So we don't see you people as non-performing assets. Bhattacharya sir, Suresh sir, and myself, we all will see you as new prospective asset for the bank. Make us to feel proud of you like that. And rest assured, any bank, except Blood Bank, okay, any bank for that matter, we are here to help and implement what Prime Minister or Finance Minister or Minister of Finance, whatever they tell, we are ready to do. Of course, you should understand that we are also human beings, though come under the utility services. And many bankers, you all know, are under COVID, this particular disease also. Still, the services are never blocked or never this thing. We are there for you. And we bankers never treat any sector as number one or any sector as neglected sector. For us, all sectors are equal. and we treat it like you can maybe your Pappan Bhai Padmanabhan is telling as a council member, you can listen from Suresh sir or M.K. Bhattacharya sir also during the course of this thing. Thank you so much once again, Chitoda. Hearty congratulations for organizing such a wonderful program, and Nisha madam being the dynamic secretary. And now the team is very much more stronger with Rajendra Bose sir, Divendra Roy sir, and Devashish Nandi sir. Everybody are here. So our president will lead and we will follow to execute each and everything. Thank you very much, Sunil Mishra sir, for giving me a chance to be live. Thank you very much, Nisha madam. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your address. May I now request our Vice President CMA Biswarup Basu, sir, to kindly address the audience. Over to Biswarup Basu, sir.
I think he can unmute his mic.
Vice President, sir, kindly unmute your mic, sir.
It is already unmuted. Please address Biswarup Dada.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Very good evening to all of you. Respected CMA Balvinder Singh, President, the Institute of Cost Accountants of India. Respected and distinguished CMA H. Padmanabhan, CMA Niranjan Mishra, CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay, CMA Vijender Sharma, CMA Rakesh Bhalla, CMA Devashish Mitra, CMA Yoshin CMA Neeraj Joshi, CMA Ashish Thate, Dr. V. Murali, Paparao Sinkara, CMA Dr. Murthy, CMA Raju Iyer, my beloved colleagues in the Regional Council chapters, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you today. I'm addressing you at a time when the whole world is suffering from the impact of COVID-19. The basic objective of organizing such virtual seminar is dissemination of knowledge. The sole purpose is to imbibe wisdom and human values across its stakeholders in the pursuit of excellence. Excellence is not a destination, it is a continuous journey that never ends. I appreciate the endeavor taken by CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay to organize such programs, and it is really appreciable that today we shall be inaugurating 3 online courses on concurrent audit, credit management, treasury, and international banking. The global pandemic has landed life to a standstill and has shaken the strong foundations of business and industry. There is a saying that challenges add an agreeable flavor to life and also sweeten the taste of success. Striving through troubled water is an act of persistence, courage, determination, and patience. Every hurdle is an opportunity to learn and widen your scope. Post COVID-19, there will be new ways of doing business, shifting of operations, and adoption of technology, and there is also a need for self-sufficiency. In the 5th address to the nation, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced an economic package totaling 20 lakh crore to tide over the COVID-19 crisis under the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhijan. The special economic package would focus on land, labor, liquidity, and laws. It would also benefit the laborers, farmers, honest taxpayers, MSMEs, and to become self-reliant economy and infrastructure as key drivers for it. He said making the country self-reliant was the only way to make 21st century belong to India. When India speaks of self-reliance, it does not advocate for system. In India's self-reliance, there is a concern for the whole world's happiness and cooperation, the Prime Minister said. The endeavor taken by our President Balvinder Singh and duly supported by our entire council is really great. The motto of the present council is to achieve excellence. I wish the seminar a grand success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. May I now request our visionary president, CMA Balvinder Singh, sir, to kindly formally inaugurate the WEBINT. and announce the certificate courses. Jay. Well, over to President, sir.
Very good week, all of you. Very distinguished CMA Suresh, Deputy Managing Director, IDBI Bank, the chief guest of today's event. CMA Vishnu Basu, Vice President of the Institute. CMA M.K. Bhattacharya ji, Executive Director, Indian Bank. CMA Prakat Roy, Director, K Ratings Limited. CMA Dr. P. Sivarma Prasad, former agent, State Bank of India. CMA Mohan Khatri, former Chief Executive, Indian Bank Action. Chairman of today's Banking and Insurance Committee Chairman, CMA Chairman of Regional Councils and Chapter Coordinator, AAT Board CAT Committee, my colleagues from the Banking Insurance Financial Services Department, CMA Dr. T.P. Nandi, CMA Rajinder Mohanty, CMA Virendra Balaji, my council colleagues, past presidents, members of the Regional Council, and at the outset, I convey my heartfelt gratitude to the distinguished guests for sparing their valuable time and for being with us here today for this live interactive session organized by the Banking, Insurance and Financial Services Department on building for lending institutions post-COVID-19. Today is another great day when we are launching 3 certificate courses in banking, which are corporate audit of banks, credit management of banks, and treasury and international banking. The courses will be launched by the chief guest of the today's event by a virtual mode. I congratulate CMA Chakrabarti, Chairman Banking and Insurance Committee, for taking initiative for organizing this live interactive session and taking forward the 3 vibrant courses. Today we have all the guests who are CMAs, including from the banking, we have our own council colleagues, Chairman Banking Insurance Committee, from Regional Chapter Committee. So all my colleagues are from banking here, the guests and guests of honor. Still, I would like to just inform that the institute has expanded its horizons. Presently, we have expanded our horizons to the 100 practices across India, and we have reached centers, 485 CMS school centers and ROCs. And in addition to being the founder member of the International Accounting Association, the Asian Pacific Association, or the SARC associations, we are also the member of the Prince Accounting for Sustainability Project of UK, also the member of the International Valuation Center. Additionally, we are all aware that CMS scope business is traditionally to be the business as a cost competitive. They are able to utilize available resources in efficient manner and also use case resources leading the cost. Times we have shifted the focus in addition to the costing to the focus to the management company. Recently, you see the government has entrusted us to be the RP also, Resolution Professional under the IDBI Act. And we have also been entrusted with the duty as a district vendor under the IDBI Act. GST law, we are looking forward. We also have got the opportunity up to date, special county also, some state governments allow us financial audit of cooperatives like this. We have more in financial audit also ventured recently when the Companies Act was amended to 2013. An internal audit has been trusted to us. The audit is nothing but audit of the. And finally, the Banking, Insurance and Financial Services. The Institute has set up a separate department on this. And this is the 6th web interaction by this department. Seminar was 7th year, but by this committee is the 6th web interaction, specifically focused on the banking and insurance area. Here I would like to just discuss among us my colleagues in the banking, guest of honor, that we feel that there are 4 areas where the cost components can be banking. First area, which we feel that what is the utility of a cost audit mechanism for the project appraisal banking? It has been seen that NPS is becoming national economic issue, and there has to be a system put in place and controls put in place. We feel at the institute that the cost audit, which is the existing mechanism, can be used by the banking sector whenever we process any loan proposals or lending proposals, this report, financial reports, we get data of the corporate as a whole. Wherever in this report, we get the location-wise data, product-wise data, including the quantitative information, trends, undervaluation, overvaluation, stock, all those parameters come up. That will be more robust report which happens not in the ambit of the banking sector without bringing a new mechanism in place, without putting any burden on the corporate, just making use of the reports which is already existing, not making anything mandatory. Already mandatory reports under the company that can be used by the bank. This can be used for the new proposals and transfers, and it can be analytical tools for a loss making and looking at which product is being lost or which location is being lost. Regarding the contribution on CME in the audit areas within banks, number of banks have started doing assignments, forensic audit, stock audit, revenue audit, internal audit, concurrent to the cost and management accountants. However, it is suggested that banks should utilize these services for undertaking various audits and more. Another area which I feel that the certification for the end user fund should be presently not going to be obtained from the CMA when the loans are sanctioned and being utilized. More experience in the utilization fund being accountant looking at the inflow and utilization even in the product. In the product, we are doing the same analysis from where the fund is spent in which element. We are already being empowered in the internal audit in 148 accordingly. This can be the first service which we can go to the banking sector by the certifications of utilization. And we've seen that in the increased competition, and themselves are striving to introduce more products, more services at a competitive cost. Here also, we can have the cost benefit analysis for the products of the banking, areas of the banking, people, processes, products, infrastructure, to see which are the less profitable or unprofitable segments where necessary can be taken up. And we specifically talk of today's lending. The suggestion by the government is that we should explore the quantitative easing. There should be injection of money supply into the economy. However, this the quantitative easing, banks should lend to, or which business we should lend, or which is whether it will going to bring in inflation pressure or not. There is one element we need to see. And we have seen the latest trend that the lower cost capital has not, the interest rate is 6 times down. The economic activity has not been the level in the bad loans or lower levels. The government is trying to contract the GDP to the extent possible to gradual lifting of lockdown restrictions, together with credit-led revival of the economic activity, supported by credit guarantee special reforms. By offering credit guarantee to lenders, this may help in lowering credit risk. However, banks need to introduce checks and balances before clearing an application for additional businesses, which was given as certain. Given the collateral value in the existing loan has gone down, it is creating a big risk for the bank of the The banking sector has got into a catch-22 situation where the balancing between credit growth and bad loans has become crucial. If banks don't give credit, there is a risk of failure of organization. On the other hand, if the bank lend too much, lending might take a hit on the balance. With these opening remarks, I once again welcome all the dignitaries here and wish this event a great success. Thank you so much, and over to Madam CMA Kadiwal.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Dr. P. Sivaram Prasad, sir, to kindly brief the contents of the certificate courses going to be launched today. Over to Sivaram Prasad, sir.
So, good evening to all. Welcome to the President Institute of Cost Accountants of India and Vice President Cost Accountants of India, and particularly the Chairman in Banking and Insurance, and Bhattacharya sir and Sunil sir. I welcome all for this meeting. First of all, the basic objective of introduce this 3 courses is some rationale behind it. Some rationale is there. What is that rationale? Particularly to introduce this concurrent audit system as on date, the banks are facing three types of risk. One is credit, second one is market, and third one is operational risk. All these three risks are to be mitigated. Otherwise, the banks has to provide provisions as well as a capital adequacy ratio also. When the cost accountants are competent to audit the service industries, why not bank? Take for example, in 2015, the Reserve Bank of India issued the first circular on the concurrent audit system. Later on, that is last year, that is 18th September 2019, they have issued the second circular. But in these two circulars, they never mentioned this is to be audited by that particular profession or this profession like that. So that's why I briefly told about all these things to the chairman, banking and insurance. Spontaneously, instantly, he started the process and now it is coming in light. So that's why for mitigation of these three risks, concurrent audit is very much required thereby because banks are facing two big problems. One is increasing in the non-performing assets. Second one is the increase in the frauds. So to mitigate all these things, in addition to operational risk is people risk, process, technology and external compliance. All these are the contents of this certificate course, particularly in the concurrent audit. Second course is that is on a certificate course in credit management. In economics also, factors of production is there. One of the factors of production is that is the capital. Nowadays, it is very difficult to mobilize the capital on account of various issues. But now the banks are providing some source of fund to all the industrial units. Anyhow, that a particular CMS, they are providing various services to the clients. In addition to that, if at all they provide some, particularly the credit management side also to their clients, then it is a win-win situation both to the client as well as to the professional also. So if they acquire some knowledge, what is the credit process in the bank? So then automatically the beneficiaries are both CMS as well as particularly the clients of the CMS also. The third course, that is on treasury. Earlier, in almost all organizations, accounts department is there, finance department is there. But that nomenclature is no more because every organization, particularly they have to mobilize the funds with the least cost. Whenever they are having the funds, they have to get a yield on investments. That is, they have to get more yield on the investment. The basic purpose of the establishment of a treasury, particularly whether it is a commercial organization or the banking organization, the minimization of the borrowing cost and maximization of the yield on a particular investment. That is to be happening in the treasury department. Even banks treasury department also, whenever they are having surplus funds, they will always think about how to get maximum yield. Whenever they require funds, how to minimize the borrowing cost. In addition to that, due to shortage of the capital, now almost all organizations, they are bank on the external commercial borrowings. That's why the international bank is also introduced in the certificate. Definitely, to my knowledge is concerned, definitely these three courses will give lot of benefits to the CMA professionals, particularly to provide add-on services to their clients. So with this, I am concluding. Definitely, these courses are very useful. And in due course also, the chairman and the banking and the insurance, Mr. Chatterjee sir, is interacting with the various financial institutions. Once that is materialized, then the cost accountants will be benefited on account of getting the assignments as a concurrent audits in due course. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir, for a brief introduction of the courses. Now, I would request CMA Tangsale sir to kindly give the theme introduction for the WEBINT. Over to Tangsale sir. Mohan Tangsale sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me at the outset.
Madam. Sir,
Sir,
Sir, I have,
kindly, your
sir,
video
please,
is off, sir, kindly.
sir,
Am I audible
sorry
and audible?
sir, sorry for interruptions. This course will be officially launched. I mean, on inauguration, will launch will be done by Mr. Suresh Khatanar, sir. Madam, you please request our Khatanar sir to
Okay,
speak
so
few words during launch. Please, it is in
kindly
the
excuse, yeah, sincere apologies, sir. May I now request Suresh Khatnar, sir, to kindly inaugurate these certificate courses going to be launched today. So over to Suresh Khatnar, sir. Kindly address the viewers.
Good evening, all of you. President CMA Shri Balwinder Singh, Vice President CMA Biswarup Basu, CMA Chitranjan Chattopadhyay, CMA Padmanabhan ji, our esteemed guest speakers, veteran bankers, CMA Mohan Tanksale ji, CMA Mr. Bhattacharya, CMA Sivaprasad ji, CMA Saikat Roy. Good evening to all of you and entire CMA community, audience of this WEBINT, and all alumni located across the globe, working professionals, students, and all other participants. Today is a very special day for me to inaugurate the courses which are in need of an hour. And particularly where I belong to this organization, this institute. This institute has given me a lot of learning and taken me to career progression in my life. I am indebted to the institute and thank you, institute, for giving me this novel opportunity to inaugurate or launch these courses. As Dr. Sivaram Prasad aptly mentioned very briefly and lucidly, the importance of these courses, I have no more words to add how important these are in today's time and how helpful these will be in capacity building or capacity enhancement and how relevant they are in the present environment. Sir, you made my job a little easier here. Thank you, Dr. Sivaram Prasad ji.
Thank you, sir.
The courses which are there, a certificate course on concurrent audit. Now, I was a head audit of the organization bank. So I can really see it from a very close corner. What is the role of the concurrent auditor? I think concurrent audit is an online check and very, very crucial part of the whole mechanism of audit. And audit is nothing but an assurance given to the board, to the organization that everything is working fine. And online mechanism too, in case there are operational errors. So I think it's an online check and it helps to rectify a lot of issues which otherwise inadvertently happen due to the pressure of the operations, pressure of the customer interactions. And this is a very, very important role which concurrent auditor plays. It helps in various compliances and which improves the overall efficiency of any bank. So I think it is in the very, very right direction. I think our all cost accountants can take great benefit out of this. Organizations will look forward to, capacity enhanced either cost accountant students or the professionals to engage them and take forward this agenda. So I think this is in a great direction. The other course, which is credit management of the banks. Now, credit in the banking assumes a very, very high proportion. Even if you look at the risk weight assets, it consumes about 80% of the risk weight capital requirement of the banks. So credit is very, very risky. It had been the risky, but then, today, luckily, there are a lot of tools available to take the right decision, correct decision, mitigate the risk. Bankers are supposed to take risk. In fact, bankers are paid to take risk, but then there are a lot of mitigation measures which have come into place. There are a lot of early warning signal engines have come into place, which helps to take the decision, monitor online, like off-site monitoring has assumed a lot of importance. So these kind of courses, I'm sure will give a lot of in-depth into the products of the working capital, term loan, how the credits are structured, what is the viability, what could be the appropriate financing. Neither it has to be underfinanced or overfinanced. How money can be recovered back. How the hand-holding can be done in case of difficulties. Like government has taken various initiatives in the time of this unprecedented pandemic, which is we are going through. I think this will give great insight to all our members, and I'm thankful to the institute for introducing this course. The third one, which is on a certificate course on the treasury and forex management, I think their importance cannot be undermined when the overall margins in the banking or any industry that for that matter is reducing. The efficient management of treasury will assume a great importance, has assumed already. I think every penny will matter, and the efficiency in managing the treasury will differ one institute from the other, efficient institute from the less efficient institute. So I think a lot of efforts has to be made to reduce the cost, manage the minimum requirements so that the liquidities are managed. Definitely, liquidity is essence. And at the same time, costing is minimized. So borrowing costs are reduced so that overall efficiency is built in the organization, and that makes that helps to enhance the productivity and the profitability. I think in the right direction. My best wishes to the institute and compliments for choosing these courses, and also the students who are going to avail great benefit from these courses. My best wishes to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for gracing the today's occasion and inaugurating all these courses. And truly, your presence has been impetus to the endeavors and motivation to all the CMA fraternity. Thank you so much. With this, may I now request Mohan Tangsale, sir, CMA Mohan Tangsale, sir, to kindly give the theme introduction for this webinar.
Thanks. Am I audible?
Yes, yes. Others have to mute their this thing. Others, please kindly mute and speaker is addressed.
So all distinguished office bearers of the institute, my panel members, the participants. Let me at the outset compliment the institute for launching free certificate program on very vital subjects as elaborated by Mr. Suresh Khatnar, the credit management, the concurrent audit, and the treasury management. I'm truly honored to be a moderator for the panel of distinguished bankers. And the best part is that they are also the CMA like me. And as rightly said by Suresh, I also owe my career of banking to the Institute of Cost Accountant, because I did my cost accountancy while I was a branch manager, and I found that it was necessary for me if I have to be very, very competitive in the markets. Let me tell you that the banking and the non-banking sectors have evolved over the period of last 4 to 5 decades from nationalization to till date. And the entire approach to the healthy business growth has changed. There is a clear focus on the 3 major pillars of the bank, that is the productivity, the profitability, and the soundness of the bank. I think Mr. Suresh has rightly touched on the productivity and profitability. Now, when you say the 3 pillars of the banking as productivity, profitability, and soundness, how does it really gets into the picture? It is the human capital which contributes towards the productivity it is the human capital which contributes towards the profitability and creates the soundness at the end of the day. The soundness is not only capital borrowed or capital but it is the accrued profit out of your efficiency which you really add. And that is why all these three programs are of very, very great importance to the banking sector. I very strongly feel that when you talk of the human capital, the capacity building in the human capital is utmost important. As a cost accountant, I would appreciate if the balance sheet start monetizing the human capital of the institutes. That what is the contribution of human capital? I'm sure one day that will also come. The competence in the banking and non-banking sector has increased manifold. And the entire focus is on the customer centricity, managing customer expectations, and still manage the productivity, profitability, and soundness of the bank. I am a firm believer that the credit has to be an orderly growth. It can't be the growth at any cost. I think every speaker has mentioned about it, that there has to be a growth with caution. And while the bankers are ready, I think it is very, very essential that we create the bankers capable of taking the credit decision. I always say that banking risk taking is the banker's dharma. But that dharma you can perform well only and only if you are informed of the perceived risk, you know how to mitigate risk, and then take the credit decision. And that is what is the really risk management. And I think it is very, very, when it was found particularly in the 2013-14, the impact, the stress on the banking industry. Let me tell you that Reserve Bank of India took the initiative that there is a great necessity that the banking industry has to look at capacity building in a different perspective. It need not be only a training, which was more of an awareness rather than the capacity building. And thus the whole training inclination has been turned towards the capacity building. Incidentally, I was a committee member of the Gopal Krishna Committee on the Capacity Building, which brought out various guidance and features that how exactly the capacity in the banking or lending institution, because it is not only for the banks but non-banks and all other financial sector who have to really look at it, because you're all part of the economy. In fact, with that, it was identified that there are few mandatory areas where the focus has got to go. And I'm very happy to say that out of those 4 mandatory areas, credit, risk, forex, and audit, the institute has already brought in the certification in 3 subjects. I'm very sure you will bring in for risk also. So with this opening remarks, I once again compliment the institute and wish you all the very best on these certification programs.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. May I now request CMA M.K. Bhattacharya, sir, to kindly address the viewers.
Good evening, madam, my professional brothers and sisters. Mohan sir,
Please mute your mobile, Chitoda, otherwise echo is coming. Please continue, Bhattacharya sir, please.
Yeah, I hope I am audible actually.
Yes, sir, very much, very much.
Yeah. At the outset, I pray for the departed soul, Almighty, that is soul rest in peace. That's the very bad news we got in the beginning of the program. This theme of the program being the capacity building and the training we are going to launch for the people. That's a good actually initiative by the institution. And what exactly I was thinking that what I understand in my banking parlance, capacity building is making my people future ready. Actually, that is what I thought of addressing in this. My people means the bankers, particularly in the sectors, banking sectors, wherever I am, because the last 35 years I have traveled across India. So naturally, I thought that these are the future-ready people which I have to make. If I go back to 2016, when the RBI has talked about the mandatory certifications, this is the first step actually. And I always believe that the three areas which are mainly defense lines for me are the management and control, risk and compliance, and audit and vigilance. All these areas over a period of time certainly has taken a front seat in my risk appetite. People are talking that bankers are risk averse. This is most of the um, media reports that during this COVID we are risk averse. We are not taking the call. If I talk to if I have heard properly to Mr. Padmanabhan, actually we are actually given a lot of products to the customers. It is not only what Mr. Chattopadhyay was telling, that it is the MSME. We have given products to the across all sectors. It is whether it is MSME, whether it is retail, whether it is agriculture, whether it is corporate. That's what I thought that I'll clarify that before any hunch is there that we are only addressing MSME. No doubt, we are giving more priority to the MSMEs. But at the same time, it is not only our clients, we have also given the PCG to our non-clients also who have onboarded to the PCG and the NCD. That's okay. That is what the liquidity has been pumped into the system, because we got the liquidity also through TLTRO, or as the case may be, whether my deposit at the case may be. But one thing what we are still, this COVID has given me some opportunities. That is what I have analyzed. One of the opportunity is the adoption of technology. I was not thinking that audit can be done remote, statutory, that to statutory, central statutory audit can be done remotely. I never thought of conducting AGM online. This is one of the opportunities which we never had thought. Now it is a learning for me. Again, the second learning is that what the security aspects of my product mechanism do I have learned during this COVID, when I am going for more digital, what are the checks and balances I put? That is again one learning in this. These are the opportunities I am talking. People have talked of the COVID. This industry has gone down. Things are there, but some of the bankers have learned a lot of things. Can I pass on to it through my courses? That is what I was talking, that cybersecurity. Again is switching to the digital transaction, what the government is talking of. I am more dependent on the cash transaction. Can I switch over to digital transaction so that the risk of the currency, handling currency from the banker's point of view, handling currency from the public point of view, and other risk which is there can be reduced. Then the best thing is that I have optimized my discretionary spending. That's the biggest learning in this COVID for me. And as far the bank is concerned, the certification courses we have tied up with for capacity building of my few colleagues with the IIBF, NIBM, IDRBT, for all the courses, particularly which have been mandated by the RBI, and IBA has initiated when Council SR was also can throw light on that, and that is what I thought that these are some of the things we have talked about. My main target as a banker, that after I leave my chair, is there a person to carry it forward or moderate it better than me? That's the idea through which my capacity building is we are looking at. Whether we have institution or we are partnering with the institution. Yes, we are partnering with the institution like NIBM, IDRBT, then CAFREL. I am one of the beneficiary of this capacity building of the bank. So I have attended, where Tangsal are also attending one of the cyber meeting in London. So that's why I'm talking. If we are in the first stage, management and control is the risk. I think some disturbance is going on. Anyhow, Tangsal was there. What I'm talking in management and control, we are the risk assuming people. Now the RBI has floated a paper, discussion paper, that the board of directors, where the NEDs, other independent directors will not be a part of the risk assuming committees. That is what they have taught. So naturally, bankers have to take the risk. And going forward, when my education has not given me much insight into the banking practice, this capacity building in the system has given me how to move forward in a practical banking scenario. Particularly, time to time, this volatility is always be there in the banking scenario. As a banker, as a professional CMA, I think that we are positioned better than anybody else in the system. As far as the concurrent audit is concerned, why should we ask for concurrent? It's a peanut for me. When a bankers come, CMA is there. They should be in a position to audit the transaction banking also. They can be in the position to do the forensic also. So these are some of the demands. I thought that I can request my President, Mr. Balwinder ji, and the Vice President, Mr. Bisharov ji, and all other CMA professionals that let us fight for that and we get a position in the system. And giving, because again, a regulator looks into a different angle and whether they are competent enough. If they are not competent enough, how they are in the management or in the board also. So this is one of the issues which always gives me a little bit issues as per the who is fit and proper. Am I not fit and proper to audit? That's the question is asked time and again inside my mind, and I am yet to get a reply because from 1989, bankers also. I am telling that when CIB was incentivizing me, the professional degree was not, banks were not incentivized the professional people. That is another game which is there in the public sector bank. I have found it out. But at the same time, 35 years down the line, I'll be hanging my boot another 4 months, 5, 6 months down the line. But at the same time, I'll request my all learned professionals that can we take it in a better way to the representative policymakers that we are competent enough, we are fit enough as a auditor in full fledged, particularly the fair banking and insurance companies. That's my take on this, and I wish that the courses should be successful and people will be eliciting knowledge who are completing this course. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. I thought that I'll stick to my time and I'll listen to others who are better than me in the system here, and I'll also listen to them. And if I possible, I'll also imbibe some. I'll have some takeaway for me in the system. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thank you once again to Mr. Chatterjee Sahab that who went on chasing me to give me the timing. So I carved out some timing because some this is where they are from DFS. I thought that I'll just take it out and give them. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Thanks everybody. I'll be listening to everybody now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. May I now request CMA Sekat Rao sir to kindly address.
Thank you, Nishaji. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir, very much. Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. It is a great honor to be able to participate in this event. I thank the Institute, Mr. President, sir, Mr. Vice President, sir, and Mr. Chattopadhyay for having me here. I thought we'll just have a look at the topic that we have for this capacity building for lending institutions post COVID-19. The last 4 months has been a crash course for us in market economics, and we are in the midst of a classical VUCA event. This is probably the blackest swan yet, and the gentleman on the show can vouch for that. I was calculating when Nisha madam was introducing there. Sureshji said 36 years of experience. That was 1984. I was probably in class 3 then. So you are a better judge of than me. So new terms have been coined, gentlemen. Isolation economy, a physical plus digital hybrid model digital. It is being said that the lending institutions will need to innovate or they will have to perish. So I quickly in my mind did a gap analysis. Where do the lending institutions stand today and what do they need? Futurist author Mr. Brett King has given us a glimpse of the future and has categorized the development of banks in stages. He said bank 1.0 is when the computerization started. Before that, bank account was a card. If you shifted to another location, you had to close an account and open it there. So when computerization came, the account number became a unique identifier. Then came bank 2.0. 2.0, you unshackled the geographical boundaries. You were not limited to that locality or that building for banks. You could go to an ATM and do your transaction. Bank 3.0 came, then the banking was shifted to a mobile platform. From anywhere banking, we moved to anytime banking. Now he says we are in bank 4.0. In 4.0, what was a utility, an ATM or a mobility platform has now become a trust issue. Let us consider the system that my ATM is down for 2 days or for a week I am unable to access my account. A banking was a simple business of trust. I trust and I keep money or I lend money, vice versa. Then utility has now become trust. Can biometrics become our new account manager? We have now bank accounts where voice is the password. When you enter PVR movie theaters, you will see augmented reality where dinosaurs are running around and you can take pictures along with that. Can we now have augmented reality to give CX customer experience to the branch sitting at their home? We were already at such crossroads when COVID-19 threw up some additional questions. Mr. Bhattacharya mentioned doing audit. Now it is anyone working from anywhere. Earlier, it was only the service delivery part where you had anywhere, anytime banking. Now, your own working, you are working, we are all working anywhere from anywhere. Recalibration of credit models. Such our credit models are more of an extrapolation theory. They are not equipped to handle this kind of black swan events. How do we recalibrate them? Would I use AI and ML? Surajji mentioned about early warning signals. So once you take anywhere working from anywhere, anyone working from anywhere, that would again bring up issues of data privacy. It would bring up data security and cyber security challenges. How do we maintain collection efficiency with restricted mobility? So these are the issues which are there in front of us. We believe that while thinking about capacity building, the leadership of any lending institution would necessarily have to take into account all of these issues and we should move forward. Thank you. Back to Nisha, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. May I now request Mohan Tangsale, sir, to just take over the panel discussion, taking over some question answer session.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we got a wonderful perspective from all the panel members. Mr. Balvinder saying entire office bearers, Mr. Shivarama, about the course contents. And thus it's very, very essential that we get on to the theme of the capacity building. And as most of us in the panel have seen the banking for over 3 to 4 decades, you will all agree with me that with the evolution of the banking and non-banking sectors, the training has also evolved into a capacity building. And
so sorry to interrupt. In case you can just switch on your video, sir. Your video is not audible. Yeah, video is off, sir.
It is very much there. Is it there now? Because here it says that my video is on.
Okay.
The video is not on, sir.
Sir, your video is not.
The error message which is coming, it is saying due to low bandwidth, video is not currently available. So,
okay.
So
automatically.
If all others put
Maybe
off
bandwidth issues.
Okay, sir.
I think that could be the reason, because it's showing I'm I am able to see and my video is on. It says that okay, fine. Doesn't
Okay,
matter.
sir. Yeah,
Huh?
fine, sir. Yeah.
Shall I continue?
Yes, sir. Sir, carry on, sir. Yes, sir. Continue with the others.
Okay. So as I was referring to that, the evolution, the normal training which was focused on the awareness, which was focused on equipping with the information, has now really turned into capacity building. And on this particular issue, I would like each panel member to throw a light, particularly in the context of the RBI report on the capacity building. Suresh, to start with.
Thank you, sir. Coming back to the topic, saying that capacity building for the lending institution post-COVID. So, if you permit, sir, I would like to dwell some 2-3 minutes on the COVID, and then move further on this. So, COVID has been unprecedented, and it has changed the way we all work or we live. The way of life has changed. So whether we should take this as a permanent impairment in the whole ecosystem, it is there. The one thought is we take it as an impairment, but the other thought is whether we can move on with the available capacity enhancements which we have, which has developed over a very short period automatically. Mr. Bhattacharya mentioned we have never heard of AGM being conducted online or statutory audit happening. Zoom has become a household name. I think even the kitty parties are organized on these. So this is an evolution of the it's evolved. So because of the challenges which COVID has posed. Now, the reports, whatever they are coming, they are very, very scary so far. But then there are opportunities also which are available. So what opportunities come away? I think post-COVID, the global manufacturing is one area which looks like would shift. So I think that would give a great opportunity to the Indian economy. The whole ecosystem will have a positive opportunity to reap from there. Second is ease of doing business. I think India's rank has improved from 142 to 63. This will further throw a lot of opportunity and then will take us to a different platform post-COVID. I think I come from optimism, so please bear with me if somebody has different views. So more reforms will attract FDIs. Emerging sectors like e-commerce and IT-enabled services will pave way for more opportunities here. I think this and the fintech companies, I would recommend the institute, CMA Balwinder Singh ji. I think some course on the digital environment may be thought of, and we can, enhance the capacities on that for our entire fraternity. So I think with this, keeping this in mind, everybody has taken very proactive steps, which is in a very right direction. And government as well as Reserve Bank of India for the banking have taken a lot of proactive measures and introduced a lot of liquidity measures like LTRO, TRO, CRR concessions have been given. And 20 lakh package, economic revival package, which has been announced. All these are maybe today it appears temporary measures, but then nobody has stopped the whole economic revival effort. These efforts are coming to rebuild the economy and start afresh and not sit hand on hand, because there is no visibility, there is no any certainty when the things are going to stabilize. And unless we have a very pakka ilaj treatment available, there is a vaccine is available, till such time the uncertainty will prevail in the entire ecosystem, in the economy across the globe. So I think regulator is very, very proactive. Government has been very, very supportive, and then initiatives have been taken to restart within the given constraints. Lot of schemes have been announced, and then recent one which is very actively being given by the banks is 3 lakh crore guaranteed, where 100% guarantee has been given. So I think this allows a lot of opportunity to young entrepreneurs, professionals to restart the business as well as look forward for a growth and stability. Given this, I think the new areas which are digitalization of banking, if we can touch upon again, will help to take forward the agenda in a more swifter and seamless manner. If I can recall something is maybe video KYCs, that helps to work from home or operate the accounts, open the accounts from home. These are the tab banking has been come. I discussed briefly about early warning system. These are the packages which have come digital, which helps you to do off-site monitoring on the credit fronts. Trade platforms have come for discounting of the bills, where the interaction it has become more remote based. So the direct contact is avoided, so that people can work in a very secured environment. At the same time, the business as usual goes on. Various other platforms have developed. I'm sure Tangsari Saab has lot of information on a SWIFT, like before PNB episode or the SWIFT was not much emphasized. Now STP, straight through processing, these have become an order of the day. And work from home has created a different culture altogether. And this has become, again, a very, very robust. Most of the organizations have developed, learned to do this kind of webinar, which is, the major
Suresh,
is also done through.
Suresh, we will take some of these topics later.
Okay, sorry, I'll stop here.
No, excellent.
Yes,
I think the two major takeaways which for the participants and for the institute is that while the lending institutions have to enhance their digital capacity for delivery, it is not only their capacity for delivery, but they have to also enhance the capacity of the human resources within the organization who have to serve it. I think both these aspects are very important, and from that perspective, Mr. Balvinder Singh can also look at creating a program. I think I would like to take the question a little ahead with Mr. Bhattacharya, where he made a reference about the mandatory certification. Bhattacharya, it is true that during my tenure at the IBA, this committee was set up, and we found that we need to have the mandatory certification for the human resources or the employees who are operating in the credit risk management and forex audit area. Why do you feel it is really necessary given your experience?
Sir, in one liner, I can tell that if you look into the entire, I have worked in only public sector bank. So this is my fourth bank, sir. In all the banks, the forex population is only 10% people know the forex. One thing is that they are not thinking that this is a technical area through which I can earn also, and less capital is required also in I do the transactions. Remittance for that matter. People don't understand what are the risks in the remittance and how inward remittance should we come through OFAC, and what are the risks in the FCRA accounts. These people are not at all aware. I have found that. And people avoid that. So naturally, forex, I'll put forex before credit. Because transaction banking, where I don't require the capital, at least I should first enhance my capacity there. That is one point where when I have to tell you. Second thing is that you are talking of credit. Simple credit also we are not in a position to do because we don't have the SOP put in place from various banks that what I should do. If a particular, I'm just giving one example. If a gold loan is there, do I have a calorimeter? As simple as that. You find out, go to the any branches, you ask for the calorimeter, people will not know. I am calling a third party entity to assess the content of the gold. This is where the people don't understand that. Calorimeter, I need not, and third party entities have its own risk. So this is not one. I'm just giving small example. I go to agriculture branch. I don't know what is mean by scale of finance. At this level, I'm talking of the senior management level also. Senior management means scale 3, scale 4 also. Because they are all working in some of the cities areas, some of the urban areas. When they're posted to the for their learning, they don't know. So credit is a must. Credit not necessarily it's a corporate credit. Credit in all aspects.
Right.
I'm talking of the credit. When I lend money, I put my neck. I have to get back that money. That's what I thought that I'll just credit is. So credit and forex, these are the two paramount. I always feel that. Others also you specified, sir. It's not only credit. If I don't have the circular in my hand, there are 4, 5 where you have put the mandatory aspect of this training. One thing what we are missing is that here that I do my now in COVID period I do my 50% transaction through my banking correspondent.
Yeah.
One of the thing was what you have given at that time, that certification by IIBF for there within 6 months of their onboarding.
Yeah.
That is actually helping me in making them people that is people have talked that now can I was listening to the Mr. Shekhar Roy that the Dragon or whatever it may be. Now that is virtually APS is one of the product, and they should understand that why training is required, why the little bit technology also they required, because I pick up those BCs or the fixed BCs from various background. Unless I tell them that what is the risk and what is little bit we can do for the bank and how they at the same time they can earn money, at the same time we are in the ecosystem, leveraging them also in the ecosystem, particularly in COVID. 50% of my transaction, cash transaction, transfer transaction, account opening has been done by this banking correspondent. So that training, which you have specified at that time, it was very now very effective now. That's why I thought that training is a must. Training will enhancement, further training will further enhance. But practicing in the field is once I know the things to do. And practice certainly makes a man perfect. I believe in that. So one thing I was talking that work from home. I am not in favor of work from home because I disturb others in the home. That's why I thought that I'll give this my view on the work from home. Point number 1. Point number 2, work from home, the connectivity is not commercial. It is the private connectivity. So can I use this commercial business with the private leveraging the private connect? That's these are the 2 points on which I don't agree on work from home. Okay, that's the view maybe there for the IT people. For bankers, it is
Thank you,
not.
Bhattacharya. Rightly pointed out that the capacity means you are capable of execution of the activity which you are expected to deliver at the grassroots. You have given the reference of a rural branch, you have given the reference of the urban branch for gold loan and all that, the SOPs. Having said that, while the training has been in the system for decades, I know that when I was recruited in Union Bank of India in 1974, I was asked to directly join at the training center. So training existed since then. Now, I think there is a need for change in the methodologies of the banking, of the training, which can really create a capacity in the people to take or ensure the execution perfectly. I would like to have your views of all the panel members that what methodologies will really help in truly creating a capacity, and what is that even the institute should include in their certification program.
if I start to answer your question, I want both the theoretical as well as little bit practical should be there.
Right.
We should tie up with some of the NBFCs or some of the banks to see that those people who are trained, they should also get this little bit practical experience on how they can implement in the real life situation.
Mr. Suresh?
I do concur with Mr. Bhattacharya and endorse the views that, on-site training would really help enhance in a better way. This is one. Second, all products where we have a less of capital required or capital free, like Mr. Bhattacharya touched upon the forex and the trade finance products, where capital light transactions these are, but then they give a lot of revenue. Those may be also emphasized.
Mr.
My personal opinion, sir. Case study methodology is the best methodology. Particularly in case study methodology, the involvement of particularly the employees' involvement will be more, and they can understand the subject in detail. That is called self-learning process. Self-learning is the best learning. That's why most of the business schools, they are implemented this case study methodology, sir.
Very good. I think Shivarama sir, you rightly said the case study will be very, very useful, and thus in your courses also please make sure that you generate sufficient case studies which are based on the actual problems of the industry. Mr. Roy, would you being from the credit rating agency, I think you are seeing the industry from a distance. Can you throw some light that what kind of a capacity is really required to be built within the banking industry or the lending institutions?
So for that, the first thing that we should do is we should have a gap analysis and we have to fix the goal. There can be three types of excellences. The idea is to gain competitive edge. It could be product-led excellences, it could be process-led excellence, or it could be simply the delivery-led excellence, that how you deliver this product. Sir, you will remember that even the report, the Gopalakrishna report that you're talking about, it clearly mentioned a 70-20-10 learning model, where it's exactly what Mr. Bhattacharya was saying, that 70% of the learning happens through experiences, and it's strongly recommended project-based training. 20% happens through feedback, and only text, credit risk. These are very, very, you need to have domain expertise to be able to monitor and manage. If we have to build a bridge, we will call an engineer. For angioplasty, we won't call a data scientist. It has to be horses for courses. In addition, as we are moving to using data and data science, we may use a hybrid model for decision making. For example, we are talking about web harvesting and open source intelligence. You have thousands of data points available in the open source environment. Can we take those data points, build an algorithm, and let the model come up with an answer? On that, we superimpose the expert judgment of the specialists or a group of specialists or a committee and arrive at the best fit decision. So these are the training models which can be done. Generally, we have training models which will have certification and tests which will test the effectiveness of the learning model. The idea is that basic ratio analysis are taught in all the courses. When we when the organizations are hiring, they need to shorten the learning curve of experience. So that should be the attempt, to shorten the learning curve of experience, and that probably can happen with project-based learning, or more so with mentorship.
Good. I think you have preempted my question, which I would have asked later. But having talked about the data science, I think there is a great necessity that in the banking industry, the data analytics and artificial intelligence, machine learning, these things will have got to be introduced, and for which sufficient training again will have to be imparted. So I would like to have your views on the data analytics and usage of intelligence in the banking. Suresh, if you can throw some light.
Sir, I think data analytics and artificial intelligence has again become an order of the day because we deal with so much data and so much complex applications are available. Unless they are integrated and the sources are fully exploited to make best use of it. Otherwise, it is very difficult to do any business. Let it be a recovery, let it be sales, or let it be learnings. For everything, there has to be a proper mix output of the various sources to analyze the data, and then the engines, develop the artificial intelligence which helps to do the simulations, etc. In the routine matter.
Good. Thank you. Bhattacharya, your views?
Sir, actually, if you look into the data analysis, naturally, the data analysis or whatever artificial intelligence talk, ultimately, human intelligence will superimpose all these things. If I agree with Mr. Saikat Rai that ultimately we have to think on what is on my plate, how I have to move. The horses for the courses, 100% I agree on that. Okay, that is, you are talking of the artificial intelligence, we are talking of but ultimately too much data, I am actually confused. So sometimes, so this is my practical view. It's an independent view. I am not talking on behalf of the bank actually here. I'm talking on behalf as a person here. When a lot of data comes, I don't know that which I have to pick and how I have to move. Simple data we are also analyzing. Now because it is computerized, lot of data is already there. Do I have that much time to analyze and go? So analytics has to be differently than it has to come, and a committee of all the experienced people should see that what is the best we should adapt and we move forward. That I agree. It is only supplement. It cannot supersede me, my intelligence, my risk appetite.
Let me tell you that whether it is data analytics or artificial intelligence, it is the human intelligence which create that how do I use these tools. And as you rightly said, the human intelligence superimposes. So data analytics, it means you are actually teaching the machine to how to use this data. You are teaching and that teaching is done by the human only by creating various algos. That takes me to the next point of discussion.
Yes, sir. My question, sir, with regard to data warehousing and data mining.
Yeah.
Actually, in State Bank of India also, we are using that data mining, and we are sanctioning pre-approved loans based on the mining, because based on the transaction pattern and based on the credit rating of the prospective borrower, we are sanctioning online loans without taking any documentation, etc. Then it is also working very well, even though the large database is there. But the mining part is very, very important.
Agree, totally agree. Now I'll come back to the again very fascinating question, which all of you probably have dealt with in your opening remarks. With the COVID, so much regulatory forbearance, so much schemes declared by the bank, but still the bankers are perceived to be risk averse. And having said that, can we, through these capacity building efforts, really create the bankers who are not seen to be risk averse, but who are seen to be taking a risk or informed risk and contribute to the growth? So some views on this. Suresh.
Sir, as I was mentioning earlier, the main role of the banker is to take risk. Only thing is, it has to be an informed risk, and more information should be there, more insight into the taking the risk. Now, it is like taking a risk or lending. Sometimes it is that you keep on walking on the road or driving on the road. Some accidents may happen, but then how do we mitigate? Accident may happen even in the one way lane also. but if somebody is coming from the other side, it may hit you wrongly. So, but yes, how much you can minimize. So, coming back to the previous question, whether this data analysis, etc., helps you to take the proper decision. Those are more of a decision taking or making tools. One. Second, the earlier, the facility of so many systems or the packages or so much this web, etc., was not available. Hence, there were constraints. But now the complexity of the business has increased so much, and the tools are so handy so as to take a proper risk. So I would not say that bankers are risk averse, but then bankers have now so many tools to take a very informed and maybe appropriate risk. I cannot say a correct risk. There cannot be correct or wrong in this. There is to be some uncertainty, but at least appropriate risk.
Good. Bhattacharya?
I'll speak actually the truth behind it. Actually, if I am trying to speak truth. What exactly is happening? Because I am risk averse, because I am not knowing how to take the risk. If this capacity building gives me the learning process, at least I should have start with the baby stepping. I'll baby step, then only I experience, then I'll take. Again, second thing is that having taken the risk, what is my protection in the system? Do I have taken a genuine risk so that it has failed? Or it is chasing the people to see that they don't take risk in future? These are the two. As long as Mr. Shivrashad was talking that I have artificial intelligence, I have given pre-sanction loan. In that case, nobody signs who is the who has recommended, who has sanctioned. So everybody will take in that. So Shivrashad, I got it. What exactly he is talking? As long as machine is doing the sanction, I am happy to disburse. When I put my pen in black and white, I think twice before I put my neck. This is the practice. So I try to speak the truth. So somebody may be taking, somebody may be throwing it. So
would like to respond.
Learning is a must, sir. Learning is a must to take the risk. There is no second thought about that.
So, Shivrama, you would like to respond here?
Sir, here, risk versus budget. Even though bankers are risk averse, but second side budget is there. So definitely the capacity building is whatever we are giving the knowledge and training, all these things. Definitely it fetches a lot. Even though they are risk averse, simultaneously they have to achieve the budget. Na? So once the budget is there, then they have to learn and they have to follow the guidelines. Then only it is safe to the banks. This is my personal opinion.
Okay. Mr. Roy, you would like to contribute anything here?
Yes. I think there are a couple of parallel themes running here, Mr. Kansale. One of the reasons probably is data asymmetry, because data probably is not available. We are clearly seeing a two-speed economy. There is one side of the economy which is having zero turnover, and today's headline news is that consumer spending is back to almost 70% levels on consumer goods and electronic items. So we are clearly seeing a two-phase. The other thing that we can do is that, which is affecting your credit growth probably, is metropolitan regions account for about 63% of your bank credit, and they are not fully operational. So our sense is that a lot of that is also impacting. But coming back to what Mr. Bhattacharya was saying, is you need a hybrid model. A simple, plain simple obligor model does not help. It has to be an obligor model plus an LGD model. In that LGD model, you could further build a concept which is known as product recovery. I'll give you an example. Compare a bank guarantee sanction with a cash credit sanction, with packing credit, with post shipment credit, and buyer's credit. So they all have their different matrices, and the data which is available with the banks will tell us what is the general impairment rate on any of these facilities. A bank guarantee CC is sort of more hardcore than a self-liquidating packing credit post shipment sort of a transaction. So So if the LGD model, the Basel II model, which actually nudges for capital conservation, and you have credit models which are and product driven credit models for the MSME space specifically and the emerging market, which are based on LGD models with an element of product recovery added to it. Probably what Mr. Bhattacharya was saying, that you give me a starting point, a pivot, and I will use my expert judgment to base it on that. Probably life could be a bit easier for everybody.
Okay, thank you so much. I think everyone has a solution, but the perception has got to change in the markets. And towards that, while everybody has used the term VUCA, that is volatility, the uncertainty, the complexity, the ambiguity which is prevailing. So what happens? This is definitely going to be the order of the day. Now, how do we prepare our people to be? Let me tell you very frankly, the preparedness of the people is a capacity building. And we need to prepare the people for the VUCA kind of the incidences, which are going to happen day in, day out in a different form and size. So I'll like to ask all the panel members that what exactly will prepare every banker to be ready for such a situations. Sureshji.
Sir, UCA will only go up in the present circumstances and environment. I think the able manpower, there is no substitute of a competency or competent manpower or empowered manpower. And so that is the basic requirement. Now, the empowerment or the competitiveness is, of course, very well aided by the very well-designed courses, learning, literatures, and also exposure to various products and the services, and also the industry. This is one. Secondly, it has to be supplemented by a conducive environment for taking decisions. This is one softer point which I want to mention. And third is empowerment, proper delegation, empowerment, and freedom of thoughts. Yeah. I think that helps. It's a unique package which helps to improve the overall manpower requirement.
So, Bhattacharya, any comments?
So my idea is about this, how to address this among my colleagues. Actually, there is no doubt that is a training, but there should be some, we do it actually, that in respect of if there is a uncertainty in the how far I can travel, that we could be, there is barrier there. That this much is my, just I am giving one exposure, it should not be that in respect of particular state, how much I can go. Because his FRBM, how FRBM has worked for him. Like that only we have put like that barriers. Some of the risk barriers we have put. That is one, we give it advance so that he doesn't trade into the uncertain areas of a particular, and when they go for the subscribe to SDL or exposure to the state government guarantees. Another thing is that after volatility that we give the industry specification, we do it, but still we fail sometimes that because of the compulsion we have to take. Sometimes we have to compulsion. But in respect of the complex, again, I will depend on the fintech companies in some of the due diligence companies as Pro 52 or something like that. So that sees that can I address at the time of underwriting the credit. At that time I address. As Saikat has told that we have the system of, I have worked in State Bank so that we have the system of taking the risk through that PG and PD and LGD method of, can I have a model for that and I can take the industry. These are the area where I can just address this ambiguity in the environment. So that's the area which is unknown fear for me. So I thought I will not be in a position to, ambiguity I cannot address. I can, personally I cannot address, so naturally I will not be in a position to tell them that how far this ambiguity can be traced out in my daily risk appetite, undertaking the risk in the particular assets.
I think it's Durama because he is driving the programs of the institute. Durama, how our certifications will really prepare the people for this situation?
For which situation, sir?
VUCA, volatility.
Okay. Actually, here, sir, I want to tell something about VUCA. Everybody knows about that. Banking is backbone to the economic development. If at all, I'm thinking about volatility, uncertainty, and complex, all these things, it is not possible for the credit officers to give the credit to the public. So, certain calculated risk is to be taken by the bankers. If at all they have not taken, the economy will not move, because if the banks are not pumping the money in the economy, then automatically economy stagnation will happen. But whatever the courses, particularly I designed these courses like a credit management or audit, all these things. To some extent, it particularly the the concurrent audit. To some extent, it mitigates the risk of the banking industry, because as I told earlier, the three important risks: credit, market, and operational risk. It is increasing day by day. But if at all the professionals learn about all these things, if that information disseminates to their clients, some good results will happen. That is my personal opinion.
Thank you. Nisha, can I take one last question, or we are running out of time?
Okay. Continue, sir.
Okay, I'll take the last question.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Building is extremely essential for the talent management within the bank and talent retention within the bank. Today, it's very, very important. It is the employee who chooses where he should be continuing or where he should move. So how exactly the capacity building should be used to do a talent management and talent retention management? I'd like to have your suggestions. Suresh ji. Suresh, are you here?
Sir, sorry.
My question was on... Yeah. You got my question?
Talent management and talent retention and talent attraction also maybe I can add.
Yeah. You can add that. You're absolutely right.
I think this is again a very key question you have raised there on this platform. HR has to play a very, very significant role in any organization. I think the resources of the skilled resources of the specialists, particularly who have the proper aptitude. More important is aptitude first, and then attitude, and then the specialization. I think that is very important. Now, what could be the policies to really retain them, groom them, and attract them, the new ones? That has to be very, very, very well crafted, so that the attritions are absolutely minimized, and HR management takes a very, very prime role in this.
Thank you. Bhattacharya?
Sir, from the public sector point of view, I have a structured payout actually, and if you look into that, so that how far I'll be successful, but still we are successful because some of the people in the system, just like that me, I joined in 85, now I'm still in 2020, when the transition from banking, from the manual banking to the total banking, private banking has also come. Depends on the how the appetite of the person that they can shift. In the aspect of creation of talent pool, that is one of the area. Can I create a talent pool through HR? I agree with that. Our DMD Suresh ji, that we have to keep the trend growing. Only thing that in public sector bank I can see them through the promotions and appreciation. So that's the only way I can do it. So I can only talk from that angle. Because I have not worked in a private sector, so how the PLIs work? Yeah, there is no PLI works here.
So we will ask how it happens in the private sector. The talent management retention.
Yeah. So that's what I'm talking. That there is no PLI here. Even there is in paper there is a for full-time directors there are some PLIs, but it is not implemented. These are things are there because it's the appetite. Who wants safety net more, and they can stay in the PSU banks and take the risk and go forward. So they are the only weapon with us is that promotion and the placement in the various sectors.
Thank you. I was looking for comment from Mr. Roy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we have to just take a step back and think of what is that we are addressing. For a going concern, the key criteria is to have profits. You could have the best infrastructure, best people, best product, but without being profitable, you will have dearth of investable surplus. That will also not allow you to have growth capital. So it's a classical chicken or the egg story. You have the best profit, you get the best people, you retain the talent. I don't think only people probably is the answer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the PSUs have any dearth of good people. The PSUs, there's a report which comes out, MSME Pulse, it says that they have done exceedingly well to crash the turnaround time for MSME loans from 41 days to 31 days.
Excellent.
What is that? What is the reason? And that's fantastic, 41 days to 31 days. But then when we look at it in the context that NBFC turnaround time is 18 days, it clearly gives them a distinct competitive advantage. The type of competitive advantage with Bank 2.0 I mentioned earlier, ATM gave, Bank 3 mobile platform gave. So we have to invest in these technologies as a first mover competitive advantage to augment your people skills, and those who embrace them will be the market leaders. The others will keep trying catching up. There is no hard and fast rule. You give X plus 1, your competitor will give X plus 2. It is always not about probably the money. It is there is no single answer, but then the organization comes supreme. So you have to think about what is my priority. The priority always has been profit. The priority always has been competitive advantage. It could be threefold. It could be service delivery led. It could be process led. It could be product led.
Thank you. Shivaraman, you would like to comment?
Yes, sir. That capacity building versus attrition, capacity building versus risk. If at all capacity building is more, then automatically risk will be mitigated to a large extent. But at the same time, if at all people are learn more, then automatically attrition rate is happening. Particularly this is happening in treasury departments of the bank, because they acquired the knowledge. There are so many deputation to various training centers, particularly FIMDA and other workshops. And later on, they are moving from treasury department to Singapore market to get the better chances. So the too much capacity building is also sometimes it is not helping to the bank.
Okay, thank you. I think my panel members have comprehensively covered all possible expectations of the participants. Very quickly, I will say that all the issues have addressed the basic capacity building within the organization through the human capital to have the best of the productivity, to have the best of the profitability, and make your institutional sound through the proper human resource enhancement. I think I must thank all my panel members for a wonderful contribution. Over to Nisha. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really wonderful deliberations, and discussion was too interesting, and we were involved really in this. So with this, we are moving to conclusion of the WEBINT today. So before we proceed, I would request DP Nandi sir, he's a senior director with our institute, to give his closing remarks for this today's WEBINT. Senior Director, Mr. DP Nandi, kindly unmute and give your closing remarks.
Am I audible?
Yeah.
So this is great to listen from the stalwarts in the banking field. And our president sir is there, Padmanaban sir is there, and Vice President sir, and as well as Chittaranjan sir is there. So this is nice to have these type of courses through banking committee, and it's a long awaiting course. So members and students, they are very much appreciating that these courses on concurrent audit and all these credit um, regarding credit management, these are long awaited. In fact, these type of things should be given weightage in our syllabus also, curriculum also, so that students can be aware of this typicality of this banking arena, because there is a huge opportunity in banking and insurance and VFSI sector particularly. So we all welcome these courses, and we all invite the students and members and outsiders also to join the course at large, so that they'll be benefited. And most of all, the courses are very much affordable, so that students at any point of time, due to this time of COVID situation also, they can join this course online. And this has been structured so nice that will cover the different aspects of the banking in a very lucid way. I have seen the courses structured by Dr. Shiva Ramaprasad. I have a talk with him also. So this is nicely knitted, and hope every success of the course. And I congratulate Chairman Sir Chittaranjan Sir, under the leadership of President Sir, Vice President Sir, and also Mr. Padmanaban Sir is there always. So we wish the course a great success. So this is from my side.
So, Nisha, I would like to supplement with your permission. I've also gone through the course contents, and the kind of passion which Chittaranjan and Shivarama Prasad have shown. I can assure all the student participants and CMA participants and others that after doing these courses, you will be a bankable, not only to join the bank, but to support the bank or the lending institution in their pursuit of creating the economic growth. This is
correct, sir. I fully agree with that.
Yes, sir. Truly. Thank you, Nandi sir, for your closing remarks. Really, it was an interesting day, WEBINT. And before we request our vote of thanks, in case I would request Chairman sir if he would like to say something before we formally propose vote of thanks. Chairman, Banking Insurance Committee, sir. I think.
He is coming.
Sir, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So really, this was a great day for me in my life itself, because we are all dedicated for the profession of institute, and I am finding that 4 CMAs, they have dealt on the various issues of this particular capacity building and for the lending institutions, and they have given their thought-provoking speech. We'll be definitely keeping in mind, sir. Sir, I just want to, for all of you, I just want to mention you, in this COVID-19 situation, when the MSMEs are now approaching to the banks are asking for some business continuity plan. And I think there is no best persons than CMA to give this certification of the business continuity plan. Because all over the world, CMAs are they are actually building the performance management. Let me tell you, sir, Assam government, PSCs, their performance, they have requested our institute to participate to rejuvenate the PSCs who are not performing well. Sir, with this tone, I just want to mention you, sir, as a member of the fraternity, please see that our CMAs are getting equivalent pace in the banking sector. And I assure you from the institute, whatever capacity building, whatever skill development has to be done, will be from the institute, will be done for the members and students across India. And let me tell you, sir, this program is being actually streaming through the YouTube also. Our members across India and our globe, they are watching this program, and they are giving very good suggestions to us. A lot of questions are there, but I think most of the questions have been already covered by our moderator, sir. So with this tone and my heartfelt thanks to you, gratitude to you, that you have amidst your tremendous busy schedule you have just put for your alma mater this year. Sir, we will be looking forward for your suggestions and for your participations in near future, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, may I request CMA Rajendra Bose, who is head of Banking Financial Services Department, to propose vote of thanks for this WEBINT. CMA Rajendra Bose.
Good evening, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
I am indeed honored to have this opportunity to give a vote of thanks today. We had today a really very insightful and perceptive discussion on this subject by the stalwarts of banking industry who are also illustrious members of our prestigious institute and who brought to the fore the really need, importance, opportunities and challenges faced in regard to capacity building for lending institutions in the post-COVID-19 scenario. I would like to, on behalf of the Institute, place on record my thankfulness to CMA Suresh Katanhar sir, Deputy Managing Director, IDBI Bank, who was the chief guest, CMA Mohan Tangsale sir, the former Chief Executive of Indian Banking Association, who was moderating the entire event with lot of gusto and with lot of caliber, CMA Mrinal Bhattacharya, sir, Executive Director, Indian Bank, who was a guest of honor. CMA Shoykot Rai, Director, Care Ratings Limited, who is also the guest of honor. And CMA Dr. P. Shivarama Prasad, the former AGM of SBI, who was a guest of honor today. I would also like to place on record my sincerest gratitude and thankfulness for the active guidance and wise counsel received from CMA Balvinder Singh sir, President of this institute, CMA Bishwarup Basu, the Vice President of the institute, CMA H. Padmanabhan, Chairman, Regional Council and Chapter Coordination Committee, CAT and AAT Board, and last but not the least, CMA Chittaranjan Chattopadhyay sir, Chairman, the Banking and Insurance Committee. I would also like to thank the officials of the institute for their untiring efforts and for their kind cooperation in making this program a great success, and all the members, students, and all the participants across the globe for their participation. Thank you very much.
I would request my president, although vote of thanks has been done, but I think a sweet word from my president will be, enriching more. And
it was a privilege today listening
last words of yours.
Yeah, it was a privilege listening to the stalwarts of the banking profession, Suresh Katanarji, Deputy Managing Director of IDBI, Bhattacharya, Shivarama Prasad ji, Saab, and from rating agencies, Mr. Roy, and all other colleagues. We hope to continue this series of events for the betterment for the economy, deliberate on the various issues, and to see that how the capacity building is developed. Looking forward for further such interactions. And I will note the suggestions given by the Honorable Chief Guest on the matter of that we should have some courses on the capacity building related to that. Looking forward for further session. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. All the best. Best wishes. Stay healthy, happy, safe, everyone. It was a really very interesting session today. We are very much extremely thankful to each one of our panelists, our guests, distinguished guests, everyone, and all our viewers joined us today evening. And I have just observed our Secretary, Sir Kaushik Banerjee, sir, has also joined us to encourage us and motivate us for these certificate courses. I am really thankful to Secretary, sir, for all-time support and guiding us administratively. He is always giving us full freedom to unleash our potential. So now is the time for CMAs to unleash their potential and build up their capacity in this banking sector. And I would say that the future belongs to the professionals now, and let them get good, get better, and be the best. So this, with this best wishes to all my CMA fraternity, I conclude for the day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
For your
Thank you.
thank you.
Hello.